Hey Cowboys Nation, it's Alex back again, and before we dive into this absolutely shocking breaking news, I need to ask you something real quick. Most of you guys watch my videos every single week, but still haven't hit that subscribe button, so do me a huge favor, tap that subscribe right now and join this community, because I don't want you to miss any of the massive Cowboys updates that we drop on this channel every single day, and trust me, you're going to want to be locked in after what I'm about to tell you. Now let's get into it, because Cowboys Nation, this might be the wildest update we've ever covered. The Dallas Cowboys have reportedly traded Micah Parsons to the Green Bay Packers. Yes, you heard that right, Micah Parsons, the face of our defense, the heart of the pass rush, the guy we've all called a generational player, could be wearing green and gold instead of silver and blue. And I know what you're thinking, Alex, there's no way Jerry Jones would ever let this happen, but the truth is there have been whispers behind the scenes, and those whispers are now starting to sound like thunder. The Cowboys have been dealing with ongoing questions about Micah's contract extension. We've all seen it. Micah wants to be paid like one of the top defensive players in the league, and honestly, he deserves it. But the problem is Dallas has big money already tied up with Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, Zach Martin, and Trayvon Diggs, and you can't pay everybody. So what happens when you can't pay everybody? Sometimes you move your biggest chip, and in this case that chip is Micah Parsons, and the team that reportedly made the most aggressive push was none other than the Green Bay Packers. Imagine this, Cowboys Nation, Micah Parsons lining up next to Rashawn Gary in that Packers defense. Green Bay has been building something young and hungry, and now they're looking at Micah as the final piece to take them over the top. The deal that's being floated out there includes multiple first-round picks, a proven starter on defense, and some mid-round capital that Dallas could use to rebuild other parts of the roster. So from a front office standpoint, it's not just a trade, it's a massive reset button for the Cowboys defense. But hey, race, the part that hurts: if this deal goes through, the Cowboys would be losing the emotional leader of their defense. Micah is not just a player, he's an energy source. He's the guy who fires up the crowd, who gets into the face of quarterbacks, who sets the tone every single snap. Taking him away means this Cowboys defense would need to completely rebrand itself and lean heavier on players like DeMarcus Lawrence and young guys like Mozzie Smith, and that's a big ask. Now I know some of you are thinking, Alex, this has to be fake news, but think about this. Last season we saw tension boiling. Micah's body language on the sidelines, the frustration in post-game interviews, and his comments about wanting to be in a situation where his talents are appreciated with a big paycheck. Those weren't just random words, those were signs. And when the Packers came calling, the Cowboys had to listen, because like I said, you can't pay everybody, and the NFL is a business as much as it's a game. And let's talk about the fan reaction, because Cowboys Nation is already divided. Some fans are saying you can't let a talent like Micah Parsons go no matter the cost. Others are saying if we can get multiple first-rounders and finally rebuild the offensive line or add more weapons for Dak, maybe this trade actually makes sense. So where do you stand? Do you think the Cowboys should keep Micah no matter what, or would you take the draft haul and try to build a more balanced team? I want to know your thoughts. Drop them in the comments right now, because this is one of the biggest debates we've ever had as a fan base. But hey, race, what makes this even more wild, this isn't just about Micah and the Cowboys, this has ripple effects across the entire NFC. If Micah joins the Packers, suddenly Green Bay becomes one of the scariest defenses in football. And remember, the Packers are already stacked with Jordan Love starting to find his rhythm, Christian Watson developing into a real weapon, and that young defense holding strong. Now add Micah Parsons to that mix, and the Packers could go from playoff team to true Super Bowl contender overnight. Meanwhile, the Cowboys would need to prove they can win without their defensive superstar, and that pressure would fall directly on Dak Prescott and Mike McCarthy. And speaking of McCarthy, let's be real, this trade, if it happens, puts his job on the line. If the Cowboys trade away Micah and don't win immediately, McCarthy will be the first one to get the blame, and Jerry Jones knows that, which is why this whole thing feels like a gamble. Either Jerry is about to make one of the boldest trades in Cowboys history, or he's about to alienate the fan base in a way we haven't seen since the Herschel Walker trade decades ago, which, by the way, did bring Dallas multiple Super Bowls later. So maybe Jerry is thinking lightning can strike twice. Now, Cowboys Nation, I want to pause for a second and just ask you directly, how would you feel seeing Micah Parsons in a Packers uniform? Would you be sick to your stomach? Would you still support the team? Would you shift Blame to Jerry, or do you think Micah deserves to go get his bag and play somewhere that values him more? Because let's be honest, as much as we love this star on the helmet, the NFL is about money, respect, and winning. And if Micah feels like he can't get that in Dallas, maybe this move is best for him, but that doesn't make it hurt any less. And let's dig into the numbers for a second. Micah Parsons has already racked up over 40 sacks in just 3 seasons. His pressure rate is one of the highest in the league, and he demands double teams almost every snap. When you lose that kind of player, your entire defense shifts. Opposing offenses don't have to game plan the same way anymore, and suddenly your secondary is more exposed, your linebackers have more responsibility, and your defensive line can't create the same chaos. So if the Cowboys make this trade, they're not just losing a player, they're losing the identity of their defense, and that is not something you can replace overnight. On the flip side, though, imagine the draft capital. Think about it. Multiple first-rounders over the next 2 years, plus some extra picks that could allow Dallas to grab an elite left tackle, a true number 2 receiver to pair with CeeDee Lamb, or even a young quarterback if they decide it's time to start planning for life after Dak. This is the type of move that could set the Cowboys up for the next decade, but again, it comes at the cost of letting go of one of the most electrifying players we've ever seen in a Cowboys uniform. So hey race, what I think if Jerry Jones really pulls this off, he's betting on the long game. He's saying we've tried to win with star power, we've tried to win by paying everybody, now it's time to reset, reload, and build a deeper, stronger roster across the board. But if this blows up and the Cowboys stumble out of the gate without Micah, the fan base is going to explode with frustration, and honestly, it could set the franchise back even further. So this is one of those rare crossroads moments in Cowboys history, and we're all living it in real time now. Cowboys Nation, I know this is a lot to take in, and like I said, this story is still developing, so make sure you're subscribed to the channel because we'll be dropping detailed updates as soon as more information comes out. We're going to break down exactly what the Cowboys are getting in return, who steps up on defense, and what this means for the rest of the NFC playoff race. So don't miss that. Hit the subscribe button right now so you're always first in line for breaking Cowboys news. And before we wrap up, I want to say this: no matter what happens, no matter where Micah Parsons ends up, this team still has the star on the helmet, and as fans, we ride with that star through the highs and the lows. This could be one of the hardest pills to swallow in recent memory, but if history has shown us anything, it's that the Dallas Cowboys always find a way to make headlines and always find a way to stay relevant. Now the question is, will this headline be remembered as the trade that destroyed a defense or the trade that built the next Cowboys dynasty? So Cowboys Nation, buckle up because this ride is about to get bumpy, and as always, we'll be here to break down every twist and turn for you right here on this channel. Thank you so much for watching. Drop your thoughts in the comments below, subscribe if you haven't already, and it'll catch you in the next one. It's Alex signing off.